This is Bridget from the PlannerSpeechie. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be planning for the week of February 7th through the 13th. I'm going to be using this kit from Caress Press called Hug Me. I talked about this kit briefly in my sticker haul walkthrough, which you can check out at the link above. This kit has a lot of meat to it, and this is for the week before Valentine's Day, but this is when I'm going to be doing a lot of the Valentine's Day crafts because Valentine's Day is on Monday. So I decided to do it, use a Valentine's Day kit the week before. In a controversial move. I have never used a kit with this shop before, so this is going to be a trial and error process, and hopefully everything's going to go smoothly. I will come back in a voiceover right now.
All right, so diving right in, I love how this kit came with everything I could possibly need. So I decided to use the numbers that came with it because they were so perfectly matched. I also like that Caress Press really does a good job of color blocking. So I decided to try and color block this week using those tangerines, light purples, dark purples, and magentas. This paper reminded me of kits that I used to buy from Cricut Paper Company, and because I knew about this kind of paper, I knew that I needed to do a Sharpie fine tip marker on it because regular ink gel pens wouldn't work. So thankfully I was aware of that, but that's because I bought, I believe it was whatever the lesser inexpensive paper was. And in hindsight, I wish I'd spent the extra $1 on the better paper because having to jump between one pen and another was a little frustrating. But I had initially thought that I was going to maybe vary up all of the different ones, but I decided, nope, I'm going to color block. It just makes more sense. So I'm using, and I kind of messed up that magenta header, so I saved it, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to use it. So the colors in this are like a pink purple, darker purple, magenta, and tangerine. This was a crazy week. This is my first time doing Valentine's Day in the school setting, and I really wanted to have like a crafty thing where kids were gluing and cutting things up. That didn't really happen. I ended up using a lot of my ultimateslp.com materials because they put out all these fantastic materials basically on February 6th. So when I went to check it, it was just too convenient. So I didn't want to spend extra money on Teachers Pay Teachers for something I didn't need because I already had it. I opted to use the tall sidebar box, even though I think the girl on the left looks totally insane. I just thought the scene was really sweet. I decided to put the double box on Thursday, Friday because I did not want to have school associated whatsoever with my weekend. So I opted for the least school-like full boxes for the weekends. This was my attempt at creating a work personal boundary. I really loved all of the different crafty materials. I've definitely used a lot of these in therapy with students. Washable paint, dot markers, regular markers. I love the I Tic Tac Totally Love You. It's really, really sweet. But I didn't end up actually doing anything like this in real life, to be quite honest with you. Maybe when it's not my CF year. We'll see. We'll see about next year. So I'm laying in those sidebars. The other thing about these stickers is once you laid them down, that was it. There wasn't a lot of give in getting them up again. So I just decided, nope. All right, so switching to the Sharpie now, I'm tracking my sleep and logging student logs daily. So for those of you who are not SLPs, SLPs are required to make a record of all of their sessions using a SOAP note method, which basically means subjective, objective assessment, subjective, objective assessment and plan. And in order to do this, you have to bill Medicaid. So I ended up really getting behind in some of my daily logs because there's just not enough time in the day for all that paperwork and therapy and planning, especially in the school setting. It's very complicated. It's a skill that I have not mastered yet, and I'm getting better at it. Before, I would just stay late and stay even an hour, sometimes after work. And I felt like that was a really quick way to get on the burnout train. So I decided to stop doing that. So on Monday, I work from 7 to 3. I had an IEP eligibility and results meeting at 9:30 in the morning. I just put in this Teddy Plan sticker and sort of used it as a to-do tracker to mark that I needed to update plans of care, do some progress monitoring, finish some reports, and observe a student in a classroom. That actually ended up getting pushed to the following week. That is a Charlotte's Paper Company sticker that was gifted to me. I wanted to mark that I needed to do some CVS Valentine shopping for cards and candies. And then my dinner, I just wanted to mark that I had salad and some cookies that my husband made. On Tuesday, I used this really cute speech therapy bubble from Twin Mermaids. They actually have a really great selection of speech therapy options and all kinds of other options for planners, so I will link them down below. Decided to use some of this cute deco here. I love this art display using a paper plate. I wanted to do something special with extensions because they rarely get this kind of crafty attention. I ended up not doing it because it was just too hard. So our complex threw a pizza night at the clubhouse, which I thought was actually on Tuesday, but it turned out to be on Wednesday. So oops. I'm just marking in that I had an Amazon order arriving and I needed to pick it up from the lockers on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I wanted to fill in that gap, so I eventually used a sticker deco, but I had every intention of going to Starbucks in the morning on Wednesday. That did not happen. I just decided I didn't want to do it. I thought, so it was Spirit Week this week at the elementary school. I thought today was opposite day. It was actually pajama day. Oops. But it was only a half day because of early release. So both things I almost forgot about when I got up on Wednesday morning, ironically. Wednesdays are my night to Zoom with my friend Lynette. We watch a Disney Plus thing together, so that was really fun. We usually order out on Wednesdays, but since the pizza night happened on Wednesdays, we didn't do that. I had a social committee meeting, which I ended up missing because I was doing car rider duty and I had to get lunch outside of school because all the microwaves broke. And I didn't have anything else for lunch except soup, so that happened. And then on Thursday, I had this incredible assistive technology eval with our assistive tech team. And I learned so much about partner-assisted scanning and single switch device uses. And I was blown away. It was something really cool that I learned in grad school that I hadn't gotten to use yet. And so now I'm going to be able to use it with a student, and I have to teach other teachers how to use this system. And it just made me so happy and fulfilled as a CF to be able to implement something like that with a student. It was really, really cool, and I cannot wait to get started working with this student on that skill set. I'm sorry that the top part is a little cut off. I'm just marking that I have another IEP meeting on Friday morning, and I wanted to do a group Valentine project, but that IEP meeting was actually 2 hours long, so I ended up not being able to see students that afternoon, which was kind of a bummer. Kind of jumping all over the place, sorry about that. I had to mail a package to my mom and dad, which I was going to do on Friday actually, and then I came home and fell asleep on the couch all of 4 o'clock. So yikes. My husband and I did a Valentine's Day dinner on Saturday because we wanted to be able to go out, relax, and then not have to worry about getting up early the next morning. I'm just marking in that I wanted to film my plan with me. I usually do that on Saturday or Sunday. I ended up filming it on Sunday instead. So I'm just trying to fill in space and use as many of the flags as I can. And sorry that I'm putting flags on top of the date dots just to give it a more cohesive look, because I had the flags and I wanted to use them. I used the dinner plan sticker just for this one event, not like a meal planning checklist. So I just wanted to mark that I need to call my mother and father, and that I have to do a Sunday breakfast at home. Guys, I completely forgot that the 13th was the Super Bowl. I didn't even mark it in my planner. That's how little I care about football. And I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is like a very big football town. So go ahead and judge me, but I just don't care about football. So I decided to use the deco on the bottom because I thought it looked cooler, and I didn't know how else to use it, but I didn't want to waste it. The deco was one of the best parts of this whole kit, so really glad I got to utilize all of it though. It looks great. And now I'm just flipping through. I save all of my extra stickers so that I can use it for other things like that. This was my last manicure sticker. That's Charlotte's Paper Company. I ended up painting my nails using Olive and June, and I did such a great job with it that I'm going to go out and buy more colors. I'm just marking our typical weekend routines together.
This is how the spread came out. It's a really sweet kit. I'm really, really glad that I got this kit because it's so sweet and heartwarming. I think I used it well. It's a little tricky switching back and forth between a fine tip pen and like a thicker fine tip marker. But overall, I think it still has a good aesthetic. I have some blank spaces that I'm hoping to fill in as I get more information about my schedule and what I'm going to be doing. I would like to try and do some kind of Galentine's thing this week. Just not sure when my friends are available, so I've kept a couple of open spaces. I ended up using these flags at the top because I didn't want to waste them, and they are patterned to go with this kit, and I likely won't use them again. So I thought, let me just extend the columns up one more. I thought maybe I would use the deco up there, but it was a little big, so I decided to put it in the washi and kind of enhance the washi, and I think it actually looks really good like that. It doesn't feel wasted, it doesn't feel neglected. This was my first time using this kit. I ended up using the majority of the sheets. I have 2 full boxes here. I might just keep these, maybe use them elsewhere. I don't have a payday this week, so I didn't use that. But in general, I mean, I did use most of the flags. I had a couple of these full boxes left over. I used the majority of these kits. So this is a really good size kit. I kind of wish I had a little bit more functionality, but then there would have been even more stickers that I wouldn't have used. So I don't think I'm going to get kits bigger than this from this shop in the future, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week. No matter who you are loved. So thank you for taking the time to plan with me. All right, I'll see you next time.